Hi, everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk to you about working with buyers and new construction. I am Carrie Little, the designated managing broker of Caremark Realty Group here in Illinois, Warrenville, West Chicago, Carroll Stream, Wheaton. Yeah, we're out in the suburbs in Illinois. Yeah, maybe about an hour west of Chicago when there is no traffic. So yeah, I just want to have a conversation. So back in 1997, I actually worked for a new construction development. So I worked for a builder. So I got the experience of what it was like to be on the inside, and I got to know all of the secrets, I guess you could say secrets. And at that time, I was actually buying a property from that builder. So, when we think about, and I got my notes, when we think about working with our buyers, as a real estate agent. Now we've got new construction all over the United States. Sometimes, some of our clients might be buying in other countries. New construction, these developments could be different. They could have different models. They might have different build types. They might have different incentives when you work with buyers that are looking for new construction. But I want to give you some of my tips when you have a client that wants to look at new construction, or maybe it just might be an option that you recommend based on the time frame of your client's buyer process. Like, when do they want to buy? So number one, make sure you show the property to your client, or you go to the property, the build site, the new construction site with your client when they're ready to start shopping. Why? Because you need to register that client. If you don't go register that client and they go first, I'm just going to go, you're not getting paid. So in new construction sites, they like to work with real estate agents. They want to work with you. They want to pay you. But here's the deal. Sometimes our clients, they get excited. They go online, they start Googling, and they start shopping, and they find new construction. Remember, your buyer thinks they are your only buyer. So they're more motivated than you. So if you're a producer that has 5, 10, 15, 20 buyers, they're going to shop without you. Guess what I did? That was me. But my real estate agent did do a good job of training me. Hey, Carrie, if you go anywhere, if you look at new construction, let them know you're working with a real estate agent. Don't sign in. Don't sign in. So I literally called her. I'm like, we want to walk in. She's like, let me make a phone call. So you went through the process. And I'll tell you, and a lot of times consumers think that a real estate agent might not provide value. My real estate agent, she was fabulous. She knew more than the attorney, and she was better at closing. So working with a real estate agent really does help through the process. Now, because I worked in new construction, I can give you some other tips. So make sure when you are working with a buyer client that you physically take them to the property, or you walk in prior to the client going to this new construction development. Number two, and this could be in a specific order, but you may have done this first. Research new construction. So I have my browser open, and in my area, and I know this works in Florida, we have something called New Home Source Professional. So I have the ability to shop new construction in Illinois. So if you're a real estate agent and you have access to your association tools or your multiple listing service tools, you might have access to this too. So research new construction, know what they're offering. Find out if the prices are going up next week. Find out, what phase are they in? Build a relationship with the person that's sitting at the property. You got to do your research. And the cool thing is, even when I'm looking at this site, you can see who the builder is. You can see, you can figure out how to make an appointment. You can see, how many different models they have. You get to see if it's, if the property's already in the process of being built. You get to see the name of the subdivision. You might even find out what's being offered in the home. So do your research, become the expert. Number three, go visit new construction sites in your area, even if you don't have a buyer. Go get familiar, go find out what's available. As real estate agents, we have what are called broker tours. We used to call them caravans, where all of the real estate agents would jump in somebody's van and we would go look at properties specific days of the week. You could do the same thing with new construction. So go get in your car, go look at all the new construction sites and become the expert. Go in as if you're buying the home. Go look at the property, find out what's available. Ask the representative on site if you could have a copy of the packet. So definitely do that. Yeah, ask for a client packet. So you know what the models are, you know the subdivision plan or layout. Let's see. Oh, the other benefit is when you get this packet, you'll have the models, you know what the square footage is, you can find out what all of the options were that were included in the property, anything that was an upgrade. And when you get the subdivision layout, like, all the different phases where all of the properties are located, when that property site closes or they're done with the last phase, you now can be the realtor that markets to that area because you know all of the information about the property. So yeah, definitely get a copy. Because I bought new construction, I still have that packet. I still have all of the models, even though that property is now a rental. I am the expert. And here's the other cool thing, because I work for the builder, I know every property that has a basement. I know every property that doesn't have a basement. I know the properties where they had to put in these giant wooden beams, basically tree trunks, because it was by the water. So just to make sure that the foundation was stronger, I know where all of that is. I know the properties where a homeowner made a 2-bedroom that could have been a 3-bedroom property, a 1-bedroom, right? They took the 2 bedrooms on the main level, was a split level, and made it like a super owner suite. So I know where all that is. So definitely go see those properties. If you work for them, you even have more value. You know where all the secrets are. Number 5, does the site have any spec homes, also known as properties that are almost finished? These are completed, or they might even be at the phase where they're selling the models. Now, we went and looked at new construction in Florida, and we were like, we know you're close to ending the build. What about the models? And she said, you know what? Here's what's crazy. Someone called yesterday and bought every model. It was some company bought every model. So when their employees go to Florida, they have somewhere to go. I was like, brilliant. So, but ask about the models, because sometimes with models, they might sell all the furniture with it. The other reason why you want to go to new construction is you can get ideas. You can get ideas of what it might look like if you go to sell property. So you might be able to get ideas on, well, if you do this, this is what the trends are. So you definitely want to go look at new construction because it will help you help your sellers. Number 6, again, in no specific order, if your clients are ready to write an offer, ask the agent at the home site about what's expected for earnest money or down payment. When I bought new construction, now this was 1997. Ooh. Feels like a coffee with Carrie. So this was 1997. I was in my early 20s. I'm telling you my age. And I didn't have a huge down payment. My mother even gifted me money. It might have been like $3,000 or $3,500. So we wrote the contract in July, and we didn't close until like November 19th or something like that. So the cool thing about this builder is the builder gave me the ability to make payments every single month until we closed, because we were required to put down 5% at the time. There were also incentives if I worked with their lender. So those are some other things that you want to talk about. Like, are there incentives if I work with your lender? Doesn't mean they won't work with the lender they started with, but are there different incentives? Are they going to throw in upgraded cabinets? Are they going to throw in the wood burning fireplace? Are they going to throw in the vaulted ceiling or dig out the full basement? If your state has basements, like not every state has basements because of the water table. So yeah, ask those questions. Now, also number 7, ask what phase they're currently in. How many phases did you have? Have the prices gone up? Have the prices gone down? You want to know this. You also want to know if any of the sites have premiums. You want to know, are any of the sites larger? Are there certain homes that have to be built on certain sites? Because if they want a 3-car garage, you can't live here. I'm going to tell you, working with a buyer, ask your buyer, what do you really want? Like this, you're building the house from the ground up. You're going to be the first person that lives here. What's important to you? In Illinois, I will never, ever, ever buy a house again that faces north, and that's north. Why? Because the driveway was always frozen. Like sometimes you got to pull things out of people to find out what they really want. And they're like, you know what? I really want a wooded lot. It might not be wooded yet, but if no one backs behind them, they might have an opportunity to plant more trees. Like ask those questions. Also, Ask about association fees. Will there be an association? What's included in the association fees? Is this going to be a gated community? Are you going to have to pay for water? Is that included, etc.? Right. Number 8, when your buyer is ready to write a contract, you can ask for an attorney addendum. You can ask about inspections. How often will you be able to walk through with the general contractor? What will selecting upgrades look like, or selecting your cabinets or the flooring? When will we do that? And you might even, tell your clients, go on Pinterest, go to the local hardware store or the paint store and say, what are the current trends? The last time this, gray was in the trend, or white, how long did it stay a trend? Sometimes we think, oh, I want all white cabinets, but then you've got 5 kids at home. What is that going to look like? You went through the model and it had all white carpet and you're like, I want everything that's in the model. Then you move in and your carpet is trash in a year. Like, these are some of the things you need to really think about when you go to buy. Now, those are some of the basics. When you go to buy new construction, those are some of the basics. But as a real estate agent, we need to know how to ask questions. And my other tip for you is, when someone goes to look at their upgrades or the items that they can put into the property, you want to be able to say to your client, what's important to you and what could you do later? For example, if you want the volume ceilings, you got to do it when you buy it. If you want a deep pour basement, you got to do it when they start digging. If you want a wood burning fireplace, that is a whole, even though it might feel expensive, it's easier to do than to put in later. Do you have to have ceiling fans throughout the house? No, but you could have them put in the electric. Do you want outlets in the family room on the floor? Like, these are things that these are things that you might want to do right away, because to put them in later could be more costly. So think about, what do you really want, and make sure, as a real estate agent, you say to your client, don't over purchase and upgrades, because when you do go to sell in 5 or 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, you want to make sure that your property wasn't the highest priced home, because you may not reap the benefits later. So think about the upgrades. I'm Carrie Little with Caremark Realty Group, always coming here to share important information with you. I'm also an educator and the blogger on smartgrowmedia.com. I go live typically every Friday on Instagram at 9 a.m. Central Time. Take a moment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in the feed. If you're in Illinois, sign up to receive my updates when I teach MLS classes. And if you are out of state, sign up to receive my tips on social media and real estate. Thanks for joining.